Hello and welcome back to my channel, Craft Time by Casey. I am Casey, and today these are the 4 earrings that I will be making. Most of the components for each of these earrings came from the bargain bead box for the month of January 2023. If you are interested in the bargain bead box, I will have all of the information in the description box below, including my code. My code is Casey2, and it will get you $2 off your first month subscription or $2 off your first order from their website. So if you would like to see how these earrings came about, then stay tuned. So let's get right into it. I'm going to start with the tools that I will be using. I have 2 sets of chain nose pliers, 1 set of cutters, and 1 set of round nose pliers. And I want to briefly mention my tool set. It is the Casual Comfort tool set, and as the name suggests, these tools are so comfortable to use. They are very high quality, very well made, and they are made for adult size hands. A lot of times in the stores, the tools will look like this for whatever reason, and I know they work for some people, but for me, when I found these tools, I genuinely just can't imagine using anything else. So I will have these tools linked down below, along with everything else in the video that I use that did not come from the bead box. So for each pair of earrings that I make, I will have one that is already made, and then we will make the other one together. So here is this first one. And here is the flower style bead cap that I will be using. It is a much larger bead cap. And for my own stash, I will be using these 4mm pearls. And I will link down below the opening video I did for the bargain bead box, and it will go into detail about each bead that came from the bead box, like these barrel beads. So I'm going to start with a ballpoint pen, and we're going to make this component. Start with a 4mm pearl, bead cap facing up, and on here I am using 4 3mm beads. And the reason I'm doing that is because the hole on these barrel beads is quite large. And when I tried to make this on a pin without any beads underneath, it was kind of moving all over the place on the pin. So I put these smaller beads on here to go underneath, and it kind of stabilizes this larger barrel bead. And as you can see, the bead goes right over those smaller beads. Bead cap facing down, and then another 4mm pearl. And that small bead in the center is kind of a trick. It's a little bit of a jewelry making hack so that you're able to use beads that have larger holes for, designs that are a little bit smaller like this. So here is the component, and here's how I make a loop. I go in with my round nose pliers just above that top bead, bend it back with my fingers, go in with my cutters. I'm going to go ahead and connect it to the earring wire, and then go back in with my round nose pliers and close that loop. And here is pair number 1, on to the next one. So here is the one that is complete from the next pair, and the component is very similar in style to the previous one, and then we add this really cool connector piece with that moon cut out. So this time I'm going to use a flathead pin, and I'm also going to be using these 5-point star bead caps that came in the box. I have these really pretty druzy beads that came in. So here is the component. I'm going to make a loop on the top the same way. Go just above with my round nose pliers, bend it back, and go in with my cutters. Didn't have a good hold on that one with my fingers, and that's what happens. It goes flying. Luckily that time it did not hit me in the eye. I go back in with my round nose pliers, close the loop. So here is the component. And I'm going to take this 3mm jump ring, connect it to the component loop, and then connect it to the connector piece, and then close that loop. So now very quickly, I'm going to take this ear wire, open it on the bottom just a little, and connect it to the top end, the top hole in that connector, close it back. So here is the next pair, on to the next one. Here is the next pair, And I'm using this moon phase coin that came in the bead box. Of course, it came in a set of 2, perfect for a pair of earrings. And I absolutely love these dangles. Each one of them with this star component at the bottom. So I think it turned out really nice. This is the next pair we will be making. So I already have all of the components, including the chain, cut into the proper length. So this is the chain that I will be using. I absolutely love this chain, and as you can see, I've used quite a bit of it and I still have quite a bit left. This type of chain is very small, very delicate, and it's perfect for earrings. I have used this chain on so many different pairs of earrings. Again, I just absolutely love it. I don't know if this particular setup is still for sale, but I did find this exact chain sold by the company in just a smaller, with a smaller container. So I will have that link down below. So the first thing we're going to do is make all of the components. For these, I have ball end pins. And here is the very simple component. We have the star pin, a 3mm spacer bead, along with the 4mm labradorite faceted bead that came in the bead box. So I'm going to take my round nose pliers, go just above that top bead, bend it back with my fingers, go in with my cutters. When we get the component almost closed, we're going to add that length of chain just like that, and then close it just like this. So we're gonna have 5 of these components when we're done. All right, so we have each one of the 5 dangle components completed. So now we just have to connect it all together. I'm going to take my 5mm jump ring, open it, and connect it to that center full moon space. And then I'm going to connect the other last link in the chain to that jump ring, and then close that jump ring. So there we have it, and we're going to connect the other 4 the same way. 2 on this side, the next 2, and 2 on this side, and we'll meet back up. All right, so I've connected the 5 across the bottom. So now we simply have to connect the ear wire. Go in with my round nose pliers, open it just a little, connect it to the loop at the top, and close it back. All right, here is this pair. On to the last one. All right, so here's the last pair, and it has elements from the last pair of earrings that I made, but it's just a little bit different. So here is this last one. And once again, I've already cut out the chain pieces, and this is a different chain that I'm using. You can get real close and see the links. Also really small. I absolutely love this chain as well. And I just recently purchased this, but I've already used it a few times. Very, very nice. And this chain comes in this exact same size in multiple finishes, which I also like. So this will be the chain that I'm using here. I will have this link down below. So once again, the first thing we're gonna make are the components at the bottom. I have a flathead pin. So here is the simple component. I have the 4mm pearl at the bottom, the larger frosted stars, and then the 3mm spacer, and the 3mm faceted bead. This is the bead that I used before inside that barrel bead as a stabilizer, but here I'm using it as part of the design. So I'm gonna go just above that top bead, bend it back with my fingers, go in with my cutters, and I'm gonna go ahead and take one of the smaller pieces of chain and connect it to that last link, go back in with my round nose pliers, and close that loop. So just like that, and I'll do this 2 more times. All right, so there are the 3 of them. So we're gonna start with connecting the 3 dangles at the bottom. So I'm going to take my 4mm jump ring and connect it to the opposite last link in the chain, just like that. And then I'm going to connect 1 to each side of the charm. I'm going to close that jump ring. All right, there's 1. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So I've got this last one. I'm going to connect it to the opposite last link just like that. and I'm going to connect it to this open part right here, right underneath that star at the bottom, and it's okay if it goes up a little bit. And then close that jump ring. All right, there we go. So now we're going to connect the chains on the top. So same size jump ring, and I'm going to connect it to one length of the chain, and then on each side, I'm going to connect it above the loop that we already connected, just like this. Close that jump ring. So for right now, it's just kind of hanging out there like this, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. All right, so I have both pieces on the sides. This part's going to be a little bit hard to see because the parts are so small. I need to connect both other lengths of these chains to this jump ring. So I have one of them connected just like this. So now I need to get the other one on it. So there we go. So just like that, I have both of the other last links connected. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the ear wire and close that jump ring. All right, here is the last pair. I'm going to set them up on my display so that we can see them better. All right, so here they are, and I am very happy with how they came out. I think the theme for this month just kind of got to my head, and with the similar nature of this pair and this pair, just kind of having stars as part of the fringe, I think it looks so nice. And I really like those labradorite beads on this one. I just think they came out so nice. And these as well, I love those stars on those barrel beads. And of course the moon cutouts on those connectors. I just really like them. So once again, if you are interested in the bargain bead box, I will have all of the information in the description box below. And if you go check it out, I encourage you to use my code. That code is Casey2. That's KASI2, and that will get you $2 off your first month subscription or $2 off your first order from their website. So if you like this video and you want to see other videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and give me a like. Leave a comment. I absolutely love reading my comments. You guys are so kind. And I definitely look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.